I'm not going to bargain with those people. I don't think it's wise for the little bitty city of Estell Manor to bargain with those people on anything. And I think that if we did, even if we thought we got a favorable outcome, we would in fact share ownership in the outcome. If instead we act to pursue greater harmony with Pinelands and the other powers that be, and folks benefit from that, then they benefit from that. If they don't, then they don't. But we don't have any share in the outcome. We don't have any negotiated conclusion to the matter. We simply act to have greater harmony with Pinelands. Mr. Solicitor?
Mr. Dilge, I hear all that, but still, you know, there's no harm in asking. There's nothing gained if nothing is asked. And all they simply gotta say is, we're not doing it. Okay, so we have nothing to lose.
Okay.
I don't think we should do it.
If they're willing to just simply fence in the whole entire area, you know, to be a good neighbor with us, and we're being a good neighbor with them, allowing them the ability to go deeper, they're gonna be making a tremendous amount of money on that material.
If they dig any lower, they're gonna puncture the aquifer, right?
Probably.
They know that they're going to puncture the aquifer, and they know that it's going to convert from being a mining operation to a dredging operation almost immediately. It's going to be a lake.
That seems to be why our ordinance was written at that depth, so there wouldn't be an aquifer. So there wouldn't be a sand wash, but.
That's what I mean. If I'm going to engage a vote to try and make the place safer for what it's used for in the future, I'm going to want a lot more than just a fence. Because we would have it, if we're going to take ownership of how safe it is or is not, our obligation is to more than just a fence.
What would you recommend?
Oh, I'd have to stop. I mean, that's what I mean. I'd want a safety engineer to look at it. I'd want somebody from Mr. Lafferty or some other law office to tell me what kind of language we need to protect ourselves. I'd want to know what we need to present to the public so that if somebody loses a child in there, they don't blame me for it. That's what really concerns me.
That concerns me as well, big time. I don't want to see not one death occur from a sand wash.
All right, well, we started this conversation with let's table it till the workshop, so let's table it till the workshop.
Hopefully we'll have an exchange of some ideas in between, so that way they will be in a position to make an educated decision on it.
I'm going to make a motion, we open to the public, let the rest of this go.
We have a couple of more items here that we need to get right here. We have several other more items, guys.
We can get them Monday. We can get them at the next meeting. It's not that big
No,
a
we
deal.
can't.
Most of the stuff you don't even need us for, Mayor. You can fix the dump
Dilge.
truck, you can put an ad out for the city clerk, you can, I mean, what?
Mr. Dilge, the dump truck, I need to have guidance. I'm only authorized to spend X amount of dollars, and I want to know, what do you guys want to do with this truck? Right now, there's no code reading on the 2001 dump truck. It could cost a little bit of money. It could cost a substantial amount of money. I have said this before in the past, and now I'm going to prove my point why this is necessary. We should have an on-call employee on an as-needed basis, strictly when we have some type of an issue with repairs on a vehicle. If we pay somebody $30 or $40,
Have you discussed this with Mr. Cornu?
Mr. Cornu, this is over his head. He doesn't know how to fix this.
No, I disagree. I discussed it with him at the Public Works Garage day before yesterday, and what
And
he
what
told
did he
me
say?
was,
Did he say he could fix this?
no, he said it's beyond ADS's ability to diagnose and he needs to take it to a diesel mechanic. Now, in fact, if it's too sophisticated for ADS, I doubt very much we have any part-time employee we could hire who knows more or has better diagnostic equipment than has ADS. I think it needs to go to a dealer who has diesel diagnostic equipment, as Mr. Cornu has suggested.
Yeah.
And again, this is not something for council. This is something Public Works can just do.
Mayor, I'd like to say that there was a motion and a second made about closing the meeting. How are we gonna address that? I mean, it's on the
We're
floor.
not allowed to make sense here. I just don't get it.
That was to open the meeting to the public, correct, Judd?
Go ahead. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm not ready to go public yet, so my vote is no. Proceed.
I'm looking for members of the, Mr. Pogue would like to comment.
Thank you. I am very disappointed. I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? You were saying something?
Make your point. I'm talking to Mr.
Oh, I'm
not picking you.
okay. But earlier, when I was trying to make the public comment on the ordinance, I was continually interrupted. That does affect stuff with due process. I'm not threatening anything because I don't bother to threaten, I just do it. But to say that I'm extremely unhappy, I don't have to raise my voice or yell for that, but I'm extremely unhappy with the way that was allowed to be handled. Is there any update on anything from the landfill consultant? Because he was going to do research and come back and all sorts of numbers and all that, but I don't see anything on the agenda. Did anything ever come in? I guess that's a no.
Hasn't notified us yet.
Okay. The settlement regarding the former Public Works employee, I had made an Oprah request, not just for the resolution, but other documents. I included request for the settlement on that. Mr. Lafferty, is that ever going to be available?
I had communicated with the city clerk, and I thought he was going to comply with the Oprah request.
Okay, I guess well, we've had a big holiday, so that I appreciate. Okay, I'll take it from there.
I did comply with it. I sent the resolution to Mr. Pogue.
Right.
But I think Mr. Pogue wants the detail. Is that correct?
I'm asking for the actual settlement document / agreement, whatever term I should use now, and I should use for that.
If the Oprah request included a request for the agreement, you're entitled to that. And it
Okay.
should be sent to you.
I will make a new request just to make sure everything's nice and clean. But Mr. Lafferty, thank you very much on that. And I want to applaud you for moving ahead on the dump truck, and I guess we'll see what does or doesn't happen on the leak part. Also, I did want to finish up, and Mr. Lafferty, I probably took offense when I should not have. I was doing the praising of Sarah Sharp and the Garrick family, but then I was moving ahead to a separate policy issue, and I apologize for the contretemps on that. But the state police who came out to respond to the vandalism issue had said that it's better, obviously if things are on camera. So I wanted to say that I'll be sending some sort of letter over and perhaps consult with Mr. Moore and perhaps Mr. Olson as the technology guru on City Council for some options as far as camera / internet access that makes the camera work and storage and all that to see if that might be something we can talk about and see if we can make something work. I'm not ready to propose anything tonight on that, but just lifting that up and then go from there. I think that was it at this point, and so thank you all very much.
Mayor,
Anyone else from the public?
Tiffany Dominica has her hand raised.
It's actually Paul. I'm using my wife's phone, sorry. I just wanted to clarify that I'm just looking to purchase those additional lots on S21 just to acquire enough property to be able to build. It wasn't strategic to block anybody. It was just to be able to acquire enough property. If I could acquire enough property without those 2 lots, then, that would be great.
Well, Mr. Olson and I are gonna meet, we're gonna have a full-blown discussion with the tax assessor. That was council's wishes with what they wanna do. I personally thought we could have did it through a committee, but nonetheless, that's council's choice that they wanna do, so. We're gonna be having a meeting on the 28th. That'll probably be the first item of business to get out of the way. And you're certainly more than welcome to attend that, Paul. And hopefully things go the way that you would like them to.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, sure. Anyone else in the public? Mrs. Dickinson? I gotta ask you a question first. Are you in relation to Sam?
Yes, sir.
How would you be related to him?
It depends on if you're referring to senior or junior. Senior was my father and junior is my half brother.
I used to work with your father. He was a security guard?
That would be my brother.
That would be your brother?
Yes, sir. There's quite a bit of age difference, but yes, he has since passed.
You know what? That would have been your brother. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of the other guy that was there. He was the older guy.
My father was a plumber and well driller.
Yep, I'm sorry, I got your father, I got your brother mixed up with the older guy, but I definitely remember Sam Hickerson, and I worked with him. I worked with him too.
Small world.
And he
Yes.
passed away? I'm sorry.
My brother, yes. Thank you.
Nice guy, I like him.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. Yes, I just wanted to reintroduce myself. My name is Sandy Hickerson, and I'm one of the members of the Garden State Second Amendment Grassroots Organization. And I know that we had previously talked, believe it or not, we started it over a year ago. And we've had several things disrupt us, with COVID being one and the holidays. And I know yourselves there in Estell Manor with your city clerk leaving and whatnot. But I just wanted to bring forward this Second Amendment resolution again. I know, I believe it was back in June, I believe Mr. Lafferty was going to be working on a resolution. We had stated that Atlantic County had passed in March, and he had noted that there was substantial changes to the resolution that we originally presented. But just that you're aware, each municipality has made changes to the resolution. But since we have 8 counties that have passed within Atlantic County, and so I wanted to bring it forward to you again because I haven't been able to follow up, and I apologize that it's taken this long. But I was hoping that you would look at this again, and I apologize. Maybe you've already passed it. I'm unaware. So I just wanted to come forward tonight and discuss this again with you all. Thank you.
As much as I support the Second Amendment, I don't know, it's council's call. I mean, I'll just give you my feeling. I wanted to be the first one to do it. We didn't. We're gonna be way, way behind in line here, but at this point now, it's like, I don't even know what it accomplishes, if it's even gonna accomplish anything. We have a Second Amendment right, that's a federal amendment. Do we really accomplish anything to the good of our community that, we have this ordinance in place or resolution that we support? There's already federal law on it. I mean, you guys you're doing a movement, and I understand what you're doing, but how is it that Estell Manor, it's gonna be necessary for us to support your movement?
It would be fabulous if we could have all of the towns to be in agreement to move forward with the county. Think of the statement that we would be making, that we would be able to put this on Governor Murphy's desk, stating that all of the towns were in agreement in support of the law-abiding gun owners, specifically here for us, not only in Estell Manor, but in Atlantic County. That would be a huge statement. It's been many years that we feel, the law-abiding gun owners, we feel that our rights have been chipped at slowly over the years. And this is just one small way that we can say, hey, we're here, we're tired of that, and we have the right to bear arms, to own firearms. So we're just hoping that, and Mayor, I know that you're, like you stated, you're an NRA member yourself, you support the Second Amendment. When all of you, were sworn in, right? You took that oath to uphold the Second Amendment, and that's what we're asking you to do, is simply just to stand up with us in supporting of the Second Amendment.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir, please.
I think that the mayor's doing a fine job of kind of icing over that there's been some reluctance on the part of council, in particular members of council, to support kind of this blanket document that you ask us to co-sponsor and sign off on, because it isn't specific enough relative to the things that the dangers that it might embody. And we know that based on what residents have fed back to us. Coincidentally, I read today in the news that tomorrow the President of the United States, is by executive order, is going to put out something that's going to very detailed, very greatly restrict gun ownership, et cetera, throughout the United States of America. And I suspect that in response to that, you and groups like yours will make a very detailed rebuttal to that. And since we've waited this long, And since that coming document will be so well detailed and folks will have a better and fuller understanding of what they're sponsoring, I would ask that you come back to us when you've prepared that rebuttal. Do you know what the action that I'm talking about on the part of the president?
Yes, sir. I briefly have heard that, yes, he's going to be making a statement. I've heard two different reports, so I'm not sure, of course, which one to believe. So like you said, I would, would like to wait and hear what he says, what he puts out, and then we can go from there.
I think that certainly you're going to have to revise and update your stand at that time. Would you agree with that? Once the president takes an official position, you're going to have to revise your stand?
Well, honestly, I would say no, because this resolution is simply that we support the Second Amendment and that, these common sense gun laws, if you will, that they want to put into place only infringe upon the law-abiding citizens. We all want to stop the mass shootings, and none of us want to see firearms in the hands of those that shouldn't have them. That's no question. That's no question.
But I think you're about to be able to say everything you just said, and this is exactly how they intend to do it, and rebut those points.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That may be a very strong play and I don't mean to diminish the value of your effort by calling it a play, but I mean it's just a word.
Right. Yes.
No, believe me, I'm a veteran myself. I'm a very strong advocate of all the amendments to the Constitution, all the body of the document, and certainly including the Second Amendment. But and I agree that we need to take a stand. It's time, or it's going to be gone.
Right. Thank you for your service to our country. And yes, the Second Amendment is very important to a lot of people, and that's what we're here for. We just want to defend the Second Amendment and defend our rights and stand up for our rights.
Thank you for keeping after us. Please keep us informed.
I will tell you this, Mrs. Hickerson. I am not a fan of our Attorney General. Unfortunately, I'm just not. And he is definitely not on the side of law enforcement. And they've done some rather very bizarre things. And I'm not going to get into all that. I thoroughly disagree with some of the decisions that the Attorney General is mandating. And he's tying the hands of law enforcement from them being able to do their job. And he is adamantly opposed. When I say adamantly, that's a gross understatement. But he's adamantly opposed to any kind of gun ownership. That's just his belief. And he's trying to impose his belief on a statewide level. And I'm not in support of that at all. I'm just not. I mean, my personal opinion is if it's a federal law, then why does the state have to say what is allowable and what's not allowable? It's almost equivalent, almost, to saying the best way to protect lives as it relates to drunken driving is anybody who doesn't drink, restrict them from driving. It's the same concept. You want to stop innocent people from getting killed in a car accident from a DWI, then restrict them from driving. And just allow the drunks to drive.
Mr. Mayor,
That's what it is.
there's no other individuals requesting to speak, Mr. Mayor.
Motion to close public portion?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Can we get down to just a couple other items of business?
Oh, wait, I have something I have to say before we adjourn anyway, Mayor.
Wait a minute. You can say something if I can't. Is that right? We have a couple of
Wait till you
items.
hear what I have to say, okay? I heard from Mrs. Sparks. She's doing much better, and she plans to come home tomorrow.
Good. That's very good news. That's excellent news. I'm very happy to hear that.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
You don't want to conclude some of our other business? We can get it out.
Who made the second?
Mr. Alton.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Alton did.
Okay.
Judge, with all the stuff that we don't have, you gotta have to put it onto the next agenda. Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nope.
Good night, everyone.
Were you able to make me a copy of that, Judd?